Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, call I am La Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harachakwadash. The Bond Star Apostles, that great millstone who will well to tell us his truth. Peace, love, blessings, and salutations to you. Akim, this part of the Bahasham, the house of David, man. And through the spirit, as you notice, every time I open up my videos, I always say, you know, the tabernacle of David. All right? It's like, yeah. And I just wanted to bring this out through the spirit, Lord willing, it's edifying to the hopefully elect. All right, because right now, as you see, if you can with your spiritual eyes, that Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi is raising up the tabernacle of David. Now, we had a guy at camp come up, and one of the main things that are stumbling blocks amongst our people or to our people is the differences between the tribes. Okay, but through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, Lord willing, he was edified. All right, brothers broke down to him that the Lord is raising up the tabernacle of David, which is fallen. Now, the reason I'm bringing that out, and I'm gonna get the scripture, is because you still got Israelites that come up to us that are on the black and brown. You know, Latino don't mess with black, or black don't mess with Latino. And we see through the spirit that, like the apostles say, that the Lord is only dealing with the elect and he's raising the elect up. Okay, so let me get this real quick. This is Amos chapter 9, verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. And that day is talking about now. Okay, because we're in the what? The last days. Now this is, Amos was talking about a future prophecy. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. Now, through the spirit, when you look at the timeline of the actual like King David and which really represents the northern and southern kingdom. Okay, because when you read Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, it talks about the two sticks coming together, which represent the northern and southern kingdom. And I'm also get Revelations, I think it's the 11th chapter, all right, when it talks about the two witnesses. Okay, so in that day, and you see right now that Yahawah is raising up the tabernacle of David, man. How? Because you got specific brothers in camps. Remember, there was peace at one time with all the tribes when we dwelt amongst in Jerusalem. King David had Gadites, Reubenites, Issacharites, Simeonites, Ephraimites, Manassites, all right, and so forth in his army, as well as Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay, but then what happened was a split, all right? And the northern kingdom came over to the Americas when you read 2 Esdras, the 13th chapter, and the southern kingdom stayed over here, okay? And why? Because you had the northern kingdom that had no righteous kings, man. They were always sacrificing to idols and things of that nature. Amongst Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they had some righteous kings. All right, when you read in the book of Kings, man. But basically, they went out, the northern kingdom went out of the land and went to what you know now, all right, is the Americas or the New World. Okay, but when you read 2 Esdras, the 13th chapter, it talks about Arsareth. Okay, so it says, in Amos chapter 9, verse 11, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. When it means close up the breaches, it means the differences. Okay, the differences between the tribes. That's why you see camps like the GMSLA brothers, you see all around the world. And you got certain brothers that are amongst each other that are black and brown, so to speak. Okay, that are black and brown, which in this world today, Esau, Edom, all right, as a stumbling block, puts that amongst our people, you know, as, oh, black and brown can't get along, which we know it's age of provocateurs and things like that. But those are curses also. When you go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, all right, thy eye shall be even toward thy neighbor. Really, in all actuality, Latinos, Native Americans, and so-called Negroes, we're neighbors, all right? When you go to the book of Joshua, when Joshua and Caleb and specific mighty men were taking over the land, their specific lands, okay, we were right by each other. I think it was Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh that got their land before we crossed over the river Jordan, if I'm not mistaken. But Gad and Manasseh were neighbors, man. Half of the tribe of Manasseh, okay? So we don't go off of that, all right? And closing up the breaches, meaning closing up those differences. That's why you see certain brothers, all right? Or you see brothers coming together, and people, it's powerful. You know, people, oh, well, that Latino is with that black man, and you got the whole camps that speak Spanish. So the Lord is closing up the breaches, meaning the differences between the northern and the southern kingdom, because in King David's army, he had he had Gadites, Issacharites, he had a numeral multitude of Israelites, but a variety of them, okay? It says, and I will raise it, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. And how is he building it as in the days of old? Because through the Spirit, us, you know, Lord willing, we be the tabernacle of David. We're defenders of the gospel. The gospel's being preached, you know, and we're standing up for righteousness in Yahawashi. All right, we're starting off with the spiritual first, then it's going to become physical. But the Lord's raising up an army, according to Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. I seen this, an exceeding great army. That's talking about us. Lord willing, we be the elect. All right. So the Lord is closing the breaches, man. Okay. And it starts with the elect. So, hey, Lord willing, hey, if it is out here to the point to where the Lord has Latinos, Native Americans come together on a specific level as far as not being in the truth, that's cool. But it starts with the example, which the example is the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay? This is Hosea chapter 6, verse 1. Come and let us return unto Yahawah, for he hath torn, and how will we torn? Through slavery. All the tribes went through that, man. When you watch the movie Road to El Dorado, Issachar went through that. The Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas. Okay? The Lord hath torn. Why? Because of our transgressions. And also, you know, through the Spirit, we had to go through that in order for us to get to this point that we at right now. Right? Because it was prophesied. We had a falling away, man. You know? It says, and he will heal us. And how has he healed us? Through the word. All right? Through the rivers of living water, which is the words, man. These words have healed us, man. All right? And in what ways, you would ask? Mentally. All right? It fortifies us. Okay? It's healed us, man. Which the real person that healed us was Yahawashi 2,000 years ago when he went on that cross. Like, that's why the scripture is saying, Isaiah the 53rd chapter, let's stay healed and be converted. All right? It says, he has smitten and he will bind us up. And when you bind something back up, because we're torn, man, the Lord smitten us, but he will bind us back up. And how we bind it back up? Through this truth. All right? The bones coming together, that's being binded back up. All right? It says, and after 2 days will he revive us. And we're already revived because we got the rivers of living water. All right? In the third day, he will raise us up and we shall live in his sight. And we were once dead. All right? Now we're living. The scriptures make you living. Rivers of living water. You shall know the truth shall set you free. We are living. So we're in that third day. And we're living in the sight of the Lord. Okay, we're living in the sight of Yahawashi, man. So the Lord is raising up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and we're living in his sight. Let me get this real quick. Revelations 11 chapter. It's one of my favorite chapters to go into. Damn, man. It's a beautiful chapter. This is Revelations 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahawah entered into them. It's talking about the elect. All right. And this scripture is synonymous with Hosea, the 6th chapter. It says, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. We're in that 3rd day, man. And the great fear fell upon them that saw them. It's talking about those elites. Okay. But we're in that day, man. The Lord has raised up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and the breaches are closing up. All right. So when you come up to us saying, oh, well, Latino and it, look, man, the Lord is closing up them breaches, man. You know, and it starts with the elect. And when a lot more people come to the knowledge of the truth, they're going to get that understanding. Okay? But with that, I'm going to say shalom.